Hi everyone and welcome back. Some of you may remember this car. This is my old wagon. I was doing it up to sell and I was pretty happy with the outcome, and a bit of a sad story. It was actually sold and gone. The very next day I got a phone call from the guy that bought it from me. Said he was stuck on the side of the road. Yes, worst nightmare, the very next day. So it ends up, it just died, and the best he could get out of it was a backfire. And let's see my custom, remains of my custom intake there. It blew the whole intake tube off, so yeah, it shredded it. So I was doing some pretty good backfiring, and we stayed on the side of the road for a good couple of hours trying everything, and just had me stumped. So yeah, between one thing and another, I gave the guy back his money. I towed it to my mate Gordon's, and then I got a car trailer, put it on, brought it home, and it sat here. I did actually find out what was wrong with it, and allow me to show you Exhibit A. Okay, here we have Exhibit A. This is the one that I've pulled out of the car itself, and you can see that there's wear pattern there. So it's like something's been glancing off the very edge of that cog, and in fact it has. Okay, the backstory is I've replaced 2 distributors in this car over the years, because inside here you've got the Hall effect sensor, and that cacked out twice. The original one, it was understandable. It had been in the car since it was built, and the second one I think was a cheaper aftermarket. So this is the second aftermarket one, and it's actually still working, but the problem is with the drive gear. So years ago I read on forums that they said when you change your distributor, swap over your OEM drive gear. Just drive that pin out there, same here, and put the OEM one on the aftermarket one, because the teeth aren't machined exactly right and it'll chew out your auxiliary drive shaft. So I thought, yeah, okay, maybe, but sounds like a crock to me. So anyway, I've actually found out that that is completely true, because that's what happened to this car. Let's see if I can get a picture of it. Okay, so we're looking down where the distributor mounts into the engine block. That dark hole is what we're going to try to see in. So way down in here, there's even a cobweb there. That's how long it's sat. That's really difficult to see on camera. But that edge sticking out there, that's the auxiliary drive shaft drive gear. So distributor is driven by that, and then down in there is the oil pump, and that keys into the distributor. So that gear there is stripped, and I'm going to guess and say that it slowly wore the case hardening off the gear, and then it just let go. So I've actually got another one from another engine, and and I'll show you what it's supposed to look like. Okay, so here we have a unit that I plucked from another engine, and this is the front of the engine here. So this is the worm gear the distributor actually keys into. So when we're looking down into that black abyss there for a minute ago, you should be able to see this bit here, or something resembling that. And yeah, you saw what we could see. It was pretty much gone. So you've got a reasonable depth there of the tooth, so a lot can get chewed away before you actually get down to the actual sort of inner circumference, I guess you could say. So the other one is sort of gone, you know, like that. So yeah, this is what's going to go in it. This one's pretty good, and hopefully we'll be back up and running. Okay, so first and foremost, we've got to get everything disassembled and out the way, because we need to get timing cover off here. So all of that radiator, fans, pulleys will have to come out. So because the radiator's got to come out, and I'm sure the oil's got lots of nice bits of metal in there, I'll be dropping all the fluids. Looks like it needed changing anyway. Okay, quick progress shot here. Radiator's out, fans are out, serpentine belt is off. Next thing to come off is the tensioner. Should be 2 bolts, one there, one under here. Then the next big challenge will be to get this harmonic balancer off. I'm not sure, I'll have to just see if the water pump has to come off first. We'll just see about that, but that's where we're at. Okay, tension is off. So what we want to get to is behind this timing cover. So anything holding it on has to come off. There's the bottom of it there. I mean, here's the head. Here's the bottom of the top of the timing cover, I should say. So it seems like this tensioner here for the alternator has to come off. And of course, that balancer. Big nut in the centre there. Sorry about the light. And getting a puller. There's not that much room to get it. Okay, so that tension has given me a little bit of a surprise, but I've had to just remove the power steering pump, just put it to the side, because there's that bracket. This is the last bolt holding it. There's one down there, here. So those ones at the front you saw me take off. And that's it. Right, so before I go any further, pulling that harmonic balancer off, I really need to establish number one top dead center, because the timing reference is completely gone. As you would appreciate, you set the distributor up with number one on top dead center, and the engine's wound over, and it wasn't driving the distributor correctly, so they're completely out of sequence. So yeah, I'm going to get it on one top dead center on compression, and that'll set me up for the rest of it. So I'll just show you my little trick on how to make sure, without pulling the rocker cover, with it in the correct position, we're going to have all the valves shut. So I've got a piece of hose here that I've taken the plug out, basically bung that in there, blow through the hose, and if I can hear it blowing through the inlet, I know it's on the wrong stroke. So wind it 180 degrees, I should be able to blow on it, and it just pretty much pressurizes, and I know I'm there. We're at top dead center now. Right, that's compression, because nothing's coming out. So good, we'll move on. Okay, time to have a go at that pulley nut. I'm going in. Okay, so after a bit of messing around, I've got my puller set up there. As you can see, there isn't much room. I've still got the bolt. I put the bolt back in with a little bit of, you hear the washer there still moving, so that's going to push against the bolt, which isn't going to damage the threads inside, and these are pulling against this. So I've got that nipped up now, so wish me luck. Okay, quick action shot. We're looking down in there. See that little bit of shiny just appearing? Okay, centre bolt is out all the way, and with a bit of luck, yes. Okay, so that pretty much clears the pathway to get right into that timing cover. So there's our front seal, and there's the edge of the sump. There's a couple of bolts underneath there that'll come out, because that's the sump and the timing cover junction there. The seal around the bottom, a couple of bolts on that side. That's out, that's out. That's out. There's one there. And I'm thinking that that water pump doesn't interface there. It's separate. Okay. Let's see where we go from here. Okay, we're at the point where I need to get this cam chain tensioner out, and I've had a quick read up in the workshop manual, and it's saying to remove the center cap, making sure that this doesn't turn with it. That comes off. There's a filter inside, and you put a special tool down in there and turn it clockwise and lock it. So apparently it's a number 3mm Allen key long. That isn't, that's a 2.5, but I'll use that to hook the bits out from inside. Let's go with it. It is a filter. Here we have our Allen key, and it's engaged inside, so you can see it's spring loaded. So apparently you turn it clockwise, so it's sort of sucking in there, and it just clicked, so that must be locked in place. Okay, good to go. And with a bit of luck, it's just a matter of removing this now. Okay. Anything else up in there? That's it. Okay, we'll swap positions now. We're looking from the underside. This is our sump here. That's where the puller come off. And we've got two sump bolts here that need to come off. I've already taken the other two off on the other side. Okay, by all reckoning, all the bolts are out from the timing cover. I'm expecting it to be pretty well stuck, but I'm going to give it a bit of a lever with a long screwdriver and just see if I can get any movement. It's moving a bit. Right, well, it felt like something else was holding it, so I had a look at the new gasket and noticed down here the alternator bracket bolt actually goes right through, and it's part of what's holding it. So took a bit of time, got all the alternator, that's all off to the side now, so time to have another surprise with the long screwdriver. Yeah, promising. Come on, nearly there. Gotcha. Right, so that timing cover is finally off. Not without a big fight, mind you. I've taken the chain tensioner off there, remove that, so that's just laying there. This is what we want. Get this off, take this off, and what we want is behind, I think there's a retaining plate, and then it'll just pull out. So we're almost there. And there it is. Okay, so finally out. New one. And I just want to see if I can get a close-up of this. Alright, so that is looking pretty dire. So if we can just see how thin, you can see there how thin those teeth have worn down. Some of them are almost a razor edge. Look at that one. Let's look from this side. Man, that is just horrendous. So, that's what happens when you don't change the aftermarket drive gear with the OEM one. So just as a quick comparison. Right, so we've got it apart. I'll wrap it up for now, and the next video I'll do will be the reassembly and hopefully get it running. Okay, until then, thanks everyone for hanging out with me and going through this ordeal together with me, and I'll see you in the next one. Okay. See you soon.